What's up YouTube, it's Ben, and in this video we're going to talk about why you need multiple recruiting niches. Well, first off, I want to thank all of you subscribers, people that like, comment, share the videos that I make. I really appreciate you. If you're not subscribed, we give gold nuggets on recruiting and staffing every video on this channel. And so if you're into that, definitely hit that subscribe button and let's jump right into today's video. So as I said at the beginning of the video, we're talking about recruiting niches and why you need to have more than one. Specifically, I recommend 3 for at least when you're starting. Now, of course, people might say, well, Ben, why would I want to have 3 recruiting niches instead of just one that I can focus on? Well, you're getting it all wrong. If you're starting out in recruiting brand new and you don't know what's going on in any different direction, you need to be looking between 1 and 3 different recruiting niches. You need to cast your net wide. Basically, the way that I see it is that you're essentially limiting yourself when you choose just one niche and you think that that's only where you're going to find your clients and candidates, and you basically stick your head in a corner and say, well, that's where I'm going to do business. I totally get it. Some people would say, well, Ben, how am I going to even manage 3 recruiting niches when I'm a recruiter just starting out? Like, I know nothing yet, but I'm working in 3 different arenas, 3 different verticals. How do I manage that stuff? What I say to everyone, and this is exactly what I teach in my mentorship program, is that you're in exploratory mode at this point. On day 1 or week 1, week 3, you're still in exploratory mode. You are not niched down. You're not at the point where you can say, I'm in IT or I'm in just finance. That can't work for you yet. You're not actually managing anything. You haven't even got a client yet. So you need to cast that net wide. You need to be spread thin to be able to go and check out every angle, every opportunity, pull every rock up and figure out what you can actually get a deal in to begin with, because you're not even managing any niche to begin with. Allow me to give you 3 concrete reasons why I believe that you need multiple niches when you start a recruiting agency from scratch. Number 1, when you first start out in recruiting, your chances of getting a client and making a placement, therefore making money quickly when you first start out, are about 10x when you have multiple niches rather than just one. Now, if you think about it, everything in recruiting depends on you and your activity, your actions. What are you doing? Especially on your outreach. And when you're outreaching, right, you're going to want to look in different areas: construction, transportation, manufacturing, looking in different arenas for people that want to actually work with you. When you find something really good that is actually giving you deals, of course, then you'll want to double down, triple down on that search and get more of those types of clients. But for right now, in the exploratory phase, as you are just beginning in recruiting and staffing, you want to look around anywhere from 1 to 3 niches. Now, to break that down even a little bit more, you're going to cash flow way faster in multiple niches rather than having searched just one niche. If you're searching around in about 3 niches on average, your chances go up about 10x on getting your first placement really quickly. And that means cash flow. Everything in business is about cash flow, right? Of course, recruiting is about a lot more than that, but nothing runs the business better than cash flow. Another reason that this is a really good idea is that you're going to get proof of concept relatively quickly. So if you're going around and looking at about one niche, you might not hit gold in 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. However, if you're searching around in about 3, maybe even 4 different niches, you're so much more likely to get your first client, first placement way faster. And that gives you proof of concept, which makes you want to go even faster. Having a quick and fast start in recruiting and staffing is pivotal. If you don't know the process from end to end, then you're going to be discouraged, you're going to be lagging behind. But once you've seen the cash flow, proof of concept, and learned how to do everything from start to finish, when I'm talking about literally finding your clients, signing terms, interviewing candidates, getting a candidate hired, you know the entire process end to end. Not everything about recruiting, but you at least know the cycle. So my second reason for why you need multiple recruiting niches is that you just don't know what you like yet. When starting a brand new recruiting and staffing agency, you really have no clue what you like. You have no clue what you're going to be good at. You have no idea what's actually going to work with you personally. So I encourage every one of my students and everyone here on this video to experiment. Cast your net wide. Understand that there are basically infinite amount of verticals that you could get into and you can get deals from and you can make cash flow. Being at the startup level, you're in a really, really good position to be able to experiment a lot. You could check out construction. You could check out finance. You could check out executive search on C-suite positions. You can do MPC and place the candidate to the client, then sign terms. You can experiment with all sorts of things in different niches, in different ways, and it's an okay time to do that. Kind of like people say, making a lot of mistakes in your 20s is totally okay because you can fix them all in your 30s. Listen, at the end of the day, you're going to find out that there's certain niches you absolutely hate, and there's certain niches that you absolutely love. Then you're going to find out that there's maybe one or two or maybe just one that you're absolutely endeared with. And that's the niche that's making you tons of money. You're super good at it. And then you finally niche down to that one niche. But that's not at the start. That's once you get to know the whole playing field. All right, so my third reason for why you need to have multiple niches when you start a recruiting and staffing business is that you have no clue what you're actually capable of. You might find 2 or 3 niches that are doing phenomenal for you, like cash flowing like crazy in maybe 2 niches, construction and transportation. And those might just do $250,000 a year on autopilot for you. Whereas you also have a third, which is executive placement, and maybe you're making 1 or 2 of those a month, and that's a $20,000 check right there. So right then and there, you have about $500,000 in income generated just coming through just because you experimented and you found out what was good for you and what wasn't. This is precisely the evolution of your business. You've got to experiment to understand how you're going to be structured later on, right? So you might actually end up working with multiple niches and not taking that pathway of niching down into just one thing. You might have multiple areas over here and one thing over here. It might be totally different for every single person. That's often how it is. In summary, I highly encourage you to check out different categories of niches, right? Different areas, arenas, spaces, and then look within those spaces and see what niches should I work on at first. And I think it should be anywhere from 1 to 3. And that's how I think you're going to thrive. I don't think you're going to thrive if you run into this game saying, I'm just going to go into finance. That's all I'm doing. I think you're going to get discouraged. I don't think you're going to cash flow very quickly. And I don't think you're going to learn the process very well if you're at startup level. My wish is for you to be very, very successful in recruiting and staffing. And to do that, I definitely think you need to start out with multiple niches. All right, guys, if you found value in this video, please smash that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and hit that alert button so that you know every single time I come out with a brand new video. Until then.